I'm a little surprised to see you back here at the office again after we've just spent, what was it, like 14, 15 days together, pretty much 24/7?
Yeah, but I mean, there was like not seeing you and not watching one of the reviews. So
it's prioritizing,
yeah,
is it? Yeah. Hi and welcome back to another episode of Reviewing Your Underwater Films, the first episode after our epic trip to the Maldives and our underwater videography workshop that we were holding there. But before we keep talking about that trip, why don't we show our audience a little bit of what we've experienced in those last 14 days in the Maldives, and then they can make up their own mind.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. All right, and we're back. Beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this little short impression of our trip to the Maldives just as much as we did enjoy diving in the Maldives and being there for that time. And just as a little fun fact, all the shots that you saw were actually recorded using our iPhone 15 Pro Maxes inside Dive Fork C-Touch 4 Max housings.
Underwater smartphone housing.
Wow, what a
Come
term.
on.
What a term. Everything was shot on a smartphone on the iPhone 15 Pro Max inside the Dive Fork housing, which makes a great transition to thanking our sponsor of today's video and this series, which obviously is Dive Fork. You've seen now in the little section or selection of clips that we've showed you what you can actually record using a smartphone inside those housings. It's incredible how much better you can use your smartphone cameras by being able to use their touch screen even underwater, and that's the really cool thing about these Dive Fork housings and the equipment that they provide as accessories for their housings. It just makes filming and taking photos underwater a breeze, so easy, so convenient, and once you get out of the water, you can share that stuff instantly without having to drag the footage from an SD card onto a computer or your smartphone and then start sending it and posting it on different platforms. You can do that even while on the surface waiting for the boat to pick you up to get back onto the Lebo boat. So that is what I call convenient, right?
It is, yeah.
So thank you very much, Dive Fork, for supporting the channel here, sponsoring this series, and also providing a 6% extra discount to all our viewers. If you want to get yourself some Dive Fork equipment, you can do so by clicking onto the link down in the video description below, or entering the coupon code Matthias Lebo at checkout. That's going to give you an extra 6% on your next purchase in the Dive Fork online store. Thank you very much, guys, from Dive Fork, and I hope that everyone else can enjoy their diving adventures, maybe even with a Dive Fork piece of equipment in their hand in the near future. Right, so we've talked a lot about our trip. Let's now talk about the important stuff, the video that we're watching today.
And I have to say, the video is about the Maldives.
Wow. What better video to pick for today, right?
It's awesome.
So tell us, whose video are we watching and what was it filmed with?
As well, somebody we know. It's Daniel French again.
Oh, nice. Hello, Daniel. Good to have you back here on the channel.
Yeah. And he was filming, as I said, in Maldives with his A7S Mark III, if I remember that correctly.
Right.
Yeah. And he tried something new for his channel. And just let's have a look and see what he's doing.
Let's have a look and see what he was able to record from the Maldives.
I can't help but feel my groove. I can't Hello YouTube friends and followers, and welcome back to my channel. I'm filming today's video from the beautiful Kamandu Island here in the Maldives. Today I'm going to be taking you on a scuba diving adventure, giving you a sample of what you can see here underwater. My room is just a 5-minute walk from the dive centre and boat jetty, so let's go to the boat, get our equipment together and let's go diving.
All right. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Daniel, for sharing these memories with us. Seems like you've had a good time in the Maldives too.
Yeah,
Maldives
it's like it.
equals good times, huh?
Yeah.
Excellent. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, there are really, really nice shots in there. And I loved the intro style, and then he's sitting there and telling a bit what's happening, and then we go and do the video. And yeah, the imagery is really, really nice. We get some really nice shots in there, like, I don't know, even close-up shots, wide-angle shots. Yeah, very nice.
Cool. Yeah, I did really enjoy this video very much, Daniel. As Sebastian said, I think you've got some really stunning shots in this video. Yeah, nice introduction. I like that kind of highlight sequence at the beginning to hook your viewers. That's very nice. I really enjoyed that. The introduction's fine. And then I think it drags out a little too long after the introduction before we get into the water. You know, that whole part of speed ramping and showing the island and stuff. Why don't you do this, Daniel, as a suggestion while you're talking about the island? You know, overlay, use like the first clip of when you're sitting there talking about the island, and then rather than just showing an image of the island, use your shots that you had after you finish talking, use it overlaid over your voice and just showing like the beach and the pier and stuff while you're talking about that. I think that would make more sense and will get people, the viewers, into the water quicker.
And you hide the cuts in between
Yeah.
the scenes.
You hide the cuts, exactly. And at the same time, it would reduce the length of your video. Because again, 8 minutes is on the longest side when we talk about a video of that type for YouTube. So yeah, maybe that's an idea how you can shorten that a little bit, and make the whole thing a little shorter while also hiding cuts and making that sequence a little more fluent. I would say. Yeah. What else? What have you got to say about the shots underwater? So now you're in the water. What about those shots?
Yeah, I don't want to go directly underwater. I want to talk about at the beginning the topside shots.
Yep.
When we see the boat, and we see the boat, we see the preparing of the dive, and then going into the water.
Yeah.
These shots in comparison, they don't match up. The underwater footage is more saturated, more contrasty, and the topside footage isn't. So for now, I don't want to judge either side is good or not good, but they just don't match.
Okay. So
it's like
shot matching.
Yeah, it looks different. Yeah, shot matching in terms of saturation and contrast from surface footage to underwater footage.
Yeah.
If you go to the saturated look underwater, you have to go above water as well.
Yeah, makes sense. I agree. I do. And while we're talking about the topside footage, something else that I completely forgot just now, but it came back. Sound design.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel, for going the extra mile and including some sound design. I think that this was one of the things that we mentioned in the last video. So I really appreciate that you've done the sound design and you've gone through that process. I think you've overdone it a little bit. I think especially like the 4 zippers on your wetsuit, I think it's just a little too prominent. It could be a little more subtle.
Yeah, I think you think as well he recorded it on his own. It is not.
I don't know, but I'm guessing.
I guess so too, because then what you could do, or what I miss, is like you have a clean recording or kind of clean recording, and it doesn't fit because you and me or every audience knows I'm on a boat. It's different, and then there comes clean audio, and I'm not sure if I know from DaVinci in the audio page it's called reverb. I think it's generally called reverb. I think where you put your sound in an environment and define how much hall there is and how much how much after you hear of it. And if it's a clean audio, it will never fit the ambient. So you have to do something with your audio to fit the environment. It's not. I think it's not only the loudness and the prominence of it, it's as well like how does it sound, how does it feel.
Yeah, I understand. I think, yeah, you could definitely go that way. I think this is really then committing fully to making that sound design, which is certainly not a bad thing to do if you have the extra time and you want to invest that extra time. But I think that you could have made it a lot better by just decreasing that level, that audio level. Because right now I think it's too dominant because you just hear it just covers everything else.
Yeah.
The sound design, and just dropping that down maybe 10 decibels will already make it a lot more subtle. And then yes, you have to work it into the whole environment somehow if you want to do that, to make it like even that little bit even better. But that's not like a necessity really. But adjusting the audio levels, yes, I would definitely do that. But I'm all with you. It's just an extra step that you have to do. No, I think he's talking. No. Right. So then, can we go into the water?
No.
No.
Yeah, we can. Because I have a question for you.
Tell
because
me.
I know you love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, tell me.
Talking about transitions.
Oh yes.
And now it's your turn.
Thank you. Don't do it, Daniel. Don't do those bubble thingy transitions as you get from the boat into the water. And then there was one sort of 3/4 through the film, there was another of these transitions, which
Kind of
just
squared one.
this weird bubbly thing, getting from one image to another. Just don't do it. It doesn't do anything good. It doesn't look good. It's it's just really disturbing. Give us a clean cut or do a normal crossfade or whatever you want to do, but just don't do any of these really weird, fancy transitions that. No. Sorry, just don't.
He really doesn't like them.
No, I don't like them at all. So don't do them. So I've, yeah.
But now we can go.
We can go underwater now.
Underwater,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll pass it on to you while I find my inner peace again.
All right. Talking about saturation and contrast, I think overall there are some shots which the saturation was pushed too much. Especially talking about the color of the water, the blue, like turquoise blue kind of stuff, and yellow. You see a lot of yellow, which is I got a feeling it's pushed very hard. I have to say we had a look on our phone for the 4K HDR version, and I think that's a general problem within modern cameras producing footage in HDR, and then people watching it on a non-capable display in not a HDR. It's kind of difficult because like you can have either the full version with nice colors and everything, really, really beautiful. But if it's not produced for the other one, which would be in HD or Rec 7 or 9, it can be kind of problematic.
Well, it definitely is problematic, and I don't think it's a problem of the cameras, but it's rather a problem of how we handle that type of footage. Because we cannot really assume that everyone is owning a HDR capable screen. And even though YouTube gives us the option to upload HDR footage and display HDR footage, that doesn't mean that any of the devices that anyone watches it on has an HDR screen. And if it's not an HDR screen that you're watching it, then your screen will interpret these colors and the adjustments that you've made to them in its own way, which is not controllable by you. It's just going to make something out of it, which more likely than not is not really going to look too good. So I think that this is something that is that should be a thought process when working with HDR footage, whether you want to supply it and provide it as HDR footage with the risk that people who don't have an HDR screen are not going to be seeing what you intended them to see. Or the other option is to take that HDR footage and convert it and use it in a Rec 709 or standard definition timeline, so that you have more control over the end result that everyone will see. And the end result that everyone will see is going to be more consistent across all different screens. And right now and here at this stage in time, I would still go for not putting out HDR footage, because I don't think that the amount of HDR capable screens is at a level where I feel comfortable that most people will be able to watch it in HDR, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, and I totally agree. I totally understand, Daniel. If you have such a capable camera and you are capable of handling HDR, then watch it on your TV screen at home in HDR. It's amazing, and do it. But if you're going for YouTube or social media in general, I would go the Rec 709, the normal dynamic range way, because like you make sure more people see it in a proper controlled way. And be honest, the footage doesn't look bad just because it's in Rec 709. It can be as well very saturated, very contrasty, very sharp.
As long as you grade it and work with it as SDR footage, it's gonna still look good.
Yeah.
And maybe the other option is also, Daniel, maybe you want to do two versions. Maybe you want to do like an HDR version, then you want to do the same film as an SDR version, and have the HDR version, separate or sort of labeled as HDR and then one as SDR. There's different ways how you can work around, how you can work with this issue, but it definitely is something that if you're working with HDR footage, you need to think about and make a deliberate choice which way you want to go and what is better for you, considering all the factors that are that play a role in your individual case. So, without trying to make this sound too complicated, you really need to put some thought into this, because we've seen it now. We had to download the clip first before we watched it here, and because we downloaded it, it was downloaded as an SDR, standard dynamic range clip, and the colors at first really looked a bit off and a bit weird, and it was sometimes a bit not enough saturated. Other times it was too much saturated and it wasn't really consistent. So that's the risk that you're running if you upload HDR footage and people then watch it as SDR footage.
But talking about the color grading,
Please.
And we checked that on a proper HDR screen. I think there are some times where really, as I said at the beginning, the yellows or the yellows and blue are pushed too much.
Yeah.
And as well, I think sometimes the shadows were pushed too much. When I think about it, I think it was one time the gray reef sharks.
Yeah.
There was the gray part. I think it pushed a little. There were two, I think, eagle rays. I'm not sure, but like
eagle rays.
rays. You could see as well, like there are some noisy stuff going on.
Yeah.
If the footage is like too dark for your liking or too dark to be displayed, there's always the option of use a denoiser. Every software has one, or you can have a plugin for it to use it. Because sometimes it is a problem underwater that we don't have enough light and cannot reach it with our lights, and so we have to use different tools to get where we want.
Exactly, very well said. I've got one last thing that I would like to add to the discussion here, and that's the speed ramping. I think you've used speed ramping like once or twice. And again, like I've mentioned in previous films, I like the speed ramping to be very distinct and very decisive. So make it short and make it very noticeable. So it's a proper speed ramp, but it's not a slower speed ramp that gets you there. So because you need to cut out some length of a certain clip. I wouldn't really do that. You've done it once with a turtle, and I think on a second clip, which I can't really remember now which one that was, but I think it was a second clip in there as well. I will get rid of these, you know. And if you want to get that turtle close up, then just decide which part of the clip you really want to show and which part you want to get rid of. But that whole speed ramping to make the clip shorter, that doesn't really work for me. I don't like that. Anything else? Are you good?
No, I have nothing more to add.
Excellent. In that case, I would like to sum it up for you, Daniel. We really liked the idea that you've put into this film of making it more into a story. And that's what we also critiqued on your last film, that it wasn't a story. So you tried to make it more into a story. And I think that worked well with that little introduction part of you with the highlight section at the beginning and the little introduction part of you sitting in front of the beach and talking about what people are going to be seeing. I enjoyed the music. I think the choice of music was nice that you've picked for the individual different parts of this film, and I also really liked the nice steady, stable shots, well composed shots that we saw throughout the entire film. Stuff that you might want to be working on in the future, or might put your focus on, is shot matching. Try to make sure that the shots, especially if they are next to one another, that you put a little more effort into matching those shots, especially the blues of the shots. They can be very easily seen that they are not exactly the same color or the same tint. So put a little bit more work into that. The sound design, I love that you've gone that way and started working with sound design, but maybe just tweak it a little bit, or don't overdo the sound design. And last but probably most important, please do forget about the bubble transitions and all those weird transitions. They're not adding any value to your really, really nice films. They're actually much better off without those transitions in there. Excellent. Hopefully, Daniel, you were able to get something out of this review today, and I hope that everyone else out there was able to get something out of it as well. As always, we'll link Daniel's film as well as his YouTube channel down in the video description below, so you can go and check out his other content that he's got on his channel. If someone else wants to send in a film, what should they do?
Well, they should write an email to contact@matthiaslebo.com, put the link to their video in an email, and a little description of the camera used, the dive side, video lights, whatever is important for the audience.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to add before for Daniel's video is just to remind everybody of what we're talking about HDR. Guys, if you really want to enjoy Daniel's video in the best quality, take the link and make sure it's HDR 4K selected and you have a proper display, and then you can enjoy the proper how it's supposed to
look.
Exactly. Because like in the video now, we're using the downloaded version.
Excellent.
It's going to be different. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
To make sure they can enjoy Daniel's video in the full quality.
Thank you very much for that addition. I'm sure Daniel appreciates that a lot, and I'm very happy to have such a well prepared and present supporter, assistant, partner,
friend.
Okay, friend. Let's call you friend. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being with us and watching this episode of reviewing your underwater films. If you enjoyed it, please let us know down in the comment section below. And until next Thursday, have a great week. Keep capturing all those amazing underwater adventures of yours, and we will see you in a week's time back here on the channel. Take care. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.